Ayo, what the deal, my people? I'm back at you, and this is a Game of Thrones Season 5, Episode 10, Mother's Mercy, review and top jump-off moments. And I'm going to jump right into this with ya, and I'm very tired. I spent basically 13 hours in the airport yesterday, so bear with me, please. And I'm sorry if I miss a couple of things. But we're going to start off straight up with Stannis. So we see Stannis here, and Melisandre tells him, look, the shit's working, the shit is dripping, you got a little snow melt. But right when he gets that good news, he gets the first bad news that his people done bounced on him. So now he's got no horses whatsoever. All the sellswords have bounced. And that's why they're sellswords, man. Period. They have no loyalty. So they bounced on him. And then right after that, his wife does the honorable thing and she hangs herself. Now, I do believe she hung herself. She may have had some assistance in doing it, but I do believe that it was her that wanted to be hung. And she had the right to be hung. So after this, we see Melisandre bounces. And the reason why she bounces, if people that don't read the books don't know, is that she is able to see any danger that happens to her in the flames. And she bounces right after that because obviously this dude just killed his daughter. And then his wife hung himself. You seen him throw the shoulder into her. She was next. She knew what was going to happen. And she bounces. And then we see Stannis basically go straight forward, still preparing for the siege. But instead of a siege, he gets what happened to him. What he did to the wildlings happened to him by the Northmen and Ramsay Bolton and Roose Bolton's army. And they are basically just decimated. Now, after that, we see Stannis take out two people, injured, bleeding, still able to take out two men, lays up on a tree, and Brienne of Tarth comes and basically wipes him out, which was foreshadowed this whole goddamn season. Now, my personal thoughts on this situation right here. I do not believe it will play out in the books this way. I do believe Brienne will be the one to kill him in the books, but it definitely will not play out that way. Stannis deserved to get what he got. I thought the scene and the way he went out was very weak. I thought they could have made it better. Just having him sitting on a tree and her picking up the sword and swinging it, to me, was extremely weak. They could have did something better than that. You should have showed her stab him through the throat. Now, people may think that Stannis is alive. He is not alive. He's dead. And I'm about 100% sure on that he is dead. And that is the way it goes down for there. So that was that scene right there. Let me get into the next scene. The next scene I'm going to go into right now is Arya and Trent. So you see Arya, we see this fucking Trent and this fucking pedophile. It's not that he's just a pedophile. This guy's just a fucking abuser, beating these kids and punching them and doing all that. And then it is revealed that Arya is one of the kids, and she just jumps up and brutally just destroys this guy. And I thought that was fucking phenomenal. After that, Jack and Hagar and the Waif confront her. Obviously, I thought and I predicted that they knew. It seemed like they did know that that guy was going to be there. And I think that was all set up by Jack and me personally. After that, Jaqen takes the poison, and then it reveals that he's not Jaqen. Now, you really don't know who Jaqen really is, in all honesty. He could be 1,000 different people. You know what I mean? And that's what it is. She sees this person as Jaqen, but who knows who this guy really truly is. It could be someone else who's just wearing a face. So at the end of this, Arya is punished by losing her eyesight. Now, my personal information about this from the books, my personal opinion, I should say, is that I liked the scene. I thought it was good the way they shot it. It was probably one of the best scenes that they shot this season with Arya. Definitely this episode. And a couple of my fellow reviewers had predicted that they were going to use that as a punishment, taking the eyesight, and they did. In the books, it's not really a punishment; it's just a form of training. So I like the way they're going there, and I thought that was good. My next moment, let's go right into this one, is Cersei Walk of Shame. Now, I think that this was, without a doubt, the best moment of this episode. It really gave a really good perspective when you look at it of the distance that this chick's got to travel through this fucking mob. And she's walking through the mob, and after they cut her hair and abuse her once again, and she gets on her knees and begs, and Qyburn told her what to do this. And this was Qyburn's plan, and you can see at the end of this why it is. So Cersei walks through, and obviously that's not her body, because I think she was pregnant at this time, if anything. So they superimposed her head on some other chick's body. She walks through, and I think that is great acting by Lena Headey, who plays Cersei, if that's her name, I think it is. The emotion in her face, how she was smug in the beginning, and she was like, fuck this, and by the end, after her feet are bleeding and everything, she breaks down. After she breaks down, she gets inside. Qyburn, the only guy who was loyal to her, puts the robe around her, and then it is revealed Sir Robert Strong comes down of the King's Guard and picks her up. And you see this chick's face. People are gonna fucking pay. And I thought that right there was the only thing I didn't truly like about it, because I thought they could have just, maybe held it out or made a breakdown a little, made it more desperate, a little bit more desperate. But she just went from total humiliation and defeat to turning it around. I'm back on top just like that, and people are gonna fucking pay. I believe so, without a doubt. So my next moment I'm going to get into after that is Dany. So you see Dany and this dragon, I mean, it's like I said before, looks all cuddly. It looks like they're playing around. Obviously, the dragon is injured and it's just trying to lay out, and they're just, putting it up. Like, this dragon is just lazy. He's eating looks like he's eating a lot, because it looks like there's a lot of bones there, but he's just laid up and he ain't trying to do nothing. So then he goes off for a walk, and then she gets surrounded by the Dothraki Khalasar, and then she drops a little ring breadcrumb, and, she's going to get taken. Too bad she does not have Liam Neeson coming to get her, because if she did, then she definitely would get saved. But who knows? She got these two dudes, Jorah and Dario, coming after her to try to save her. And then we also get Tyrion and Varys there. And I thought Tyrion and Varys is going to make a dynamic duo. I did not expect to see Varys there whatsoever. I expected him to be in King's Landing, because that's where he is in the books. But I like the twist that he's there, and I think it's going to add a lot, him being there with Tyrion. So I look forward to seeing that. Overall, it was a decent scene, but nothing spectacular. Nothing really great that I can really say anything about. So my last moment I'm going to talk about here is the Jon Snow moment. So obviously we are all caught up in the books, and there are no spoilers for anything, and that is what really makes me great to do this video, because I could just say whatever the fuck I want and not have to worry about spoiling anything. So Jon Snow is there, and then he is talking to Sam. Sam wants to leave and go to Old Town with Gilly. Jon Snow gives him his blessing, basically. They get that done. You see Sam to go away, and you could see once Sam leave, that was it. Here comes that bastard Ollie, and they're setting Jon up, bringing up Benjen's name. He goes out there, and then you see the sign now. I had predicted that Sir Alison Storm would throw the first blow, and he did put the blow right into him for the watch. And then you see everybody else stab Jon up. He gets the Julius Caesar treatment, and the last blow from Brutus is from the bastard Ollie, and Ollie stabs him up. Jon lays out, and the blood comes from the back of that Mog's head. Well, from the back of his body all the way, reaches all the way up to the back of his head. Shows you how much blood is coming out that man. And that is where we are left off. I guess a Who Shot JR type moment. I did not think they would go with the Who Shot JR type moment, but they did go with the Who Shot JR type moment. So that is how my moments on that. Let me just say this real quick before I give my number for this review. This season to me, as a book reader, I don't know how you people who didn't read the books feel, but it was very, you could see this season happening a mile away. I don't think there were any really true surprises that happened this season. In the book, you get a lot of mystery, a lot of intrigue, a lot of things that you have to figure out. There really wasn't a lot to figure out. It's pretty figured out for you. And they really dumbed it down by putting the things in the episode, before the episode, and telling you what the episode was going to be about. So you really didn't have to figure out anything. Watch that. You knew exactly what was going to happen. Uh, to me, the show writers are, they use death and they use killing the same way they use tits and ass, and instead of it meaning something and meaningful deaths and deaths that are, supposed to matter, it just seems like that right now they're just killing people just to say they're killing people. And that is not the way it is supposed to be, so I don't know, you know what I mean? How I can see this show wrapping up in 2 seasons. I really can, without a doubt. I'm going to get into a lot more in depth of my feelings of this in my later T&B Q&A this Saturday at 11 with Bar Porter. So watch that, and on the Small Council on Wednesday with James Johnson on James Johnson's channel. So to me, this episode, my rating for this episode was a 6, and I'm gonna say that straight up. It was nothing special. It was nothing great. It did not seem like a season finale. So that is my review. If you liked it, please thumbs up it, comment, subscribe, and check me out on those other 2 shows I talked about. And until next time, or until next season, peace and stay sexy. All right, so my next moment I got to get into real quick is the Sand Snakes in Dorne. I really don't have much to say about the Sand Snakes in Dorne, but I did tell you that they would kill Marcella off, and they did kill Marcella off. And basically it was just done by the kiss of death, and that's what they wanted to show. I think if they showed the Sand Snakes more like this, don't show them as warrior fighters. Show them as people who are going to poison you and sneaky people. Use that, and then the Sand Snakes can be effective. That's basically what happens there, but too bad for Jaime. He finally gets to confess something and get some love back, and as soon as he does, boop, she's gone. And I'm sure that he will have to pay the price for that when he gets back in King's Landing. My next moment I'm going to talk about is Sansa and at the Winterfell. So Sansa is there, and Bar Porto, she predicted that she would use this as a lockpick, and she was 100% right on that. Well done, Bar. And she uses that lockpick, and she is sneaking around, and she's doing all that, and then she sees the battle go down and losing, and then this chick runs up on her with Reek with the bow on her face, and then Sansa basically gets saved after Reek throws this girl off the wall. And then after he throws her off the wall, the balcony, whatever you want to call it at that particular time or in that particular era, and then they run up to the top of the battlements, and eventually they jump off. This is exactly what basically happens in the books, not with Sansa, with another character, but I thought that would happen, and I do believe that they will run into Brienne at the end when that goes down. So that is basically what happens there. I thought it was a decent thing, but nothing too spectacular that we could say that happened. I don't like that Sansa is just still a victim, and it just seems like they want to keep her getting saved. I thought they were going to change it so that she did some fighting herself. They should have had her kill that chick instead of her being a victim, but still a victim. That's what Sansa is, and that's the way they're portraying her for whatever reason. So once again, I apologize. Subscribe, tell your friends about me, and spread this across the realm. Peace and stay sexy.